we are back and we are living the dream. Like, this is freaking amazing. Lions fans, let's rejoice. We had an amazing regular season. There is still time to go. We still have 3 more wins, as we titled the show, but for now we can sit in some peace, as for the first time ever, the Lions are your number 1 seed in the NFC, something I didn't know if I'd ever see in my lifetime. I'm sure the boys didn't know if they would ever see in their lifetime. And speaking of the boys, as always, I'm Nick Faber, that's Adam Stark, and that's Julius Porter, and we are the Honolulu Blues, brought to you by Peak, and we have a ton of good stuff to talk about. This is a great day to be a sports fan. A, the Michigan State Spartans play at noon. B, the Detroit Red Wings play at 3. C, we got 3 playoff games, and none of them include our Detroit Lions. For the first time ever, we are not playing on Wild Card Weekend, and it is for the first time for a good reason ever. We are not playing on Wild Card Weekend because we will just sit and wait, watch everyone beat themselves up, and we will come in next week. But let's talk about our Detroit sports before we get to our Detroit Lions. The Detroit Pistons have won 9 of their last 11 games. We're 1 Beasley 3 away from going for 10 straight wins. If they could have beat Golden State a couple nights ago, they didn't. That's okay. We are 1 game behind the 6th seed with half a season to go, 43 games to go. We've played 39. We are right about the halfway mark, and we're 1 win away from being the 6th seed. Not even the play. Like, going into the season, I was like, let's just make the play-in. Right now, I'm like, I don't want to touch that play-in. Just like the Lions, I want the Pistons to watch everyone else beat themselves up for a game and then have to play a team. So this is a crazy time in life. We'll get to the Red Wings in a minute, but Adam, real quick, let's just talk about our Pistons. 9 of the last 11, 1 winner from the 6th seed. Talk to me about it.
Just got to give a shout out to JB Bickerstaff. Dude has just put in Detroit culture back into the Detroit Pistons. He's turned the team around. And I know you might look at the record and be like, oh, this team's 500, barely above 500. That's not that good. Well, considering we already have more wins than we did last year, the entire season, it's an upgrade. And basketball nowadays, it's weird because you can finish as the 6th seed with 35, 40 losses. And pretty much the 3 to the 7 are usually within 2-3 games. So it's a tight race. JB Bickerstaff has done wonders. Cade Cunningham has finally played on a Pistons team that is 500 or above 500. So it's going good in Detroit. Malik Beasley has been a stud free agent signing. I know Ivy went down, but it really seems like we haven't missed a step. Everyone's been stepping up. Auser's playing better. Duran's playing good. Tobias is, having some good games now and then. But overall, man, Detroit basketball, I think it's back.
That's right. It really is, dude, with the backups like Ron Holland looking amazing. Love the rookie. I think he is the new JMO of Detroit, in my opinion. He might not be a foundational piece for the Pistons, and he may be, but he's going to be a fan favorite, dude. The way he just ready to go with anyone, I love that kid. Julius, anything to add on about our Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, I don't get to catch a lot of Pistons games nowadays, but I am following them just as wholly as I was 20 years ago. And, this is the first time in a long time, man, that they've shown this kind of excitement. And I give credit personally to the Lions. I feel like whatever that mojo and that culture that Dan Campbell's building in Forest Field down in Park is just wading off down into Little Caesars Arena, onto the Pistons, onto the Wings, and we are reaping the benefits as a city, a great sports city that we are. Cade, I'm just very happy that he's healthy and showing the rest of the league that he's one of the best players, and there's a reason we drafted him number 1. We were hyped as hell on this show when we drafted Cade number 1, and it was for a reason, and I'm just so happy and so proud that they're competitive again.
We're finally seeing the fruition here of Cade. It's great. Ivy was playing amazing. These top draft picks. Asor hit 2 threes, I think. I mean, the dude, I'm pretty sure, led the league in 3-ball air balls. So it's like good to see him locking in. Tim Hardaway has been a great addition. We'll keep it with you, Julius, and we'll go over to the Red Wings. I know, again, out in Germany, it's hard to see these, but the Wings have won 6 in a row, 6-1 with Todd McClellan as their new coach. We are 2 wins away from being in the playoff spot right now, again, halfway through the season, which 2 weeks ago we were like 8 wins. So it's a huge like uphill climb, but we are getting there. And the Red Wings are showing a lot of life and a lot of spunk. So Julius, anything to say about our Red Wings and just the coaches, anything of that nature?
Well, unlike the Pistons, the Wings kind of came into the season. We are all hyped for the Wings. We're like, this is the year. This is playoffs. They should have made it last year. They have young talent. They have old, wily veterans. We trust Steve Yzerman, and boom, they start bad again. Everybody always defaults to the head coach that's been around for a decade, and that's exactly what we defaulted to. He's gone. Now look, 1 + 1 = 2. Once again, like the Pistons, I am very, very proud and happy to finally see them showing their potential. Amen. And I hope it continues.
Yes, me too. We have half a season, so let's just keep putting it in. Adam, anything to add on to the Red Wings?
It's been going good, and I kind of find it funny that right after Lalonde was fired and McClellan comes in that first game, I think it was against the Maple Leafs, we got blown out like 5-2. It was 4-0 at one point. And it was really looking like that was maybe the nail in the coffin for the season. This coach might not be it. Then all of a sudden, boom, turnaround, 6 straight, spark provided. And when you get stuff like that happening, the team starts to rally, because I guarantee you all the Red Wings were just down in the dumps. We're better than this. We don't like our head coach. And then they can Lalonde, get that first loss out of the way and turn it up. So
it's crazy. They were the worst shooting team in the NHL, as in they took the least amount of shots in the NHL with Lalonde as the coach. And then McClellan comes in over the past 6 games. We're top 5 in shooting. So it's like, just put shots on net. Things will happen. You'll get lucky. Things are gonna happen. And we have a lot of young kids along with the veterans. I love watching my Red Wings. It is so fun. Again, they're on at 3:00 today playing the Seattle Kraken. So which, by the way, is an awesome NHL name, like the Seattle Kraken. That's amazing, dude. Come on. Not as good as the Wings, but it's a good name. But we'll keep moving on, because we are a Detroit Lions show. For the 3rd time, I think, or 4th time I've said it, the Lions are the number 1 seed. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. I have just sat here and said that 4 times because it's amazing. Well, let's let the boys talk about it. Adam, right back to you. Lions are the number 1 seed. Not even a question. Just talk to me about it, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show, where Julius, you brought up, like, it still just feels like different, and it's supposed to feel different, but these are like unprecedented times. No Lions fan has ever been in this position. So we are all experiencing something new, being able to watch the first round of playoffs, smiling, knowing we're playing for sure the next week, as opposed to the last 50 years where it was maybe we would play in the wild card weekend, hoping we would get out of that. And now, man, to have the 1 seed, it's awesome. Brad Holmes is a freaking wizard. Dan Campbell, Sheila Hamp. Oh my gosh, the whole front office is amazing. I'm so proud of this team, and I couldn't be happier to finally be a Lions fan, because there were days where people would ask you bump into strangers, where you're just talking at a bar. Oh, you're a Lions fan? Sorry, man. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Ravens fan. And you kind of have to, those 4 or 5 Super Bowls must be nice. And now it's our turn, baby. The NFL has had their time. Now it is Detroit's time.
Amen. I love the way you said that. You really do have to give a huge shout out to Brad Holmes and company. And there's a lot of names when you say and company. And that goes to Chris Spielman. That goes like Ray Agnew. There's just so many people. There are 10 GMs in our front office. All of these guys will be GMs so soon. There are 8 head coaches on our coaching staff right now. And our players played amazing. It comes down to your attention to detail. But I think a lot of people just look at football like Madden and look at the players that are on the field and how they execute, which is fair because that's all we get to see. But what we don't get to see is the behind the scenes, the practices, the coaching, the scouting, all of this stuff are things that have led to this. Over the course of the last 3 years, we are finally seeing the payoff of what it was like having these scouts and these coaches and these front office managers. And it all comes to this number 1 seed. And now that's not our goal. That was the first goal. And there are more important goals to still accomplish. But at this point in life, why look in the future and why be nervous of what could happen, which we'll get to questions where we're looking in the future. But as of right now, in this exact question, let's live in the moment and just be so appreciative of what we have and what we were able to see. Like Adam said, for the first time in any Detroit Lions fandom history, it's just amazing. And I know I'm just blabbing on here, but I really just want to give like the shout out and the kudos to the guys behind the scene. I made a tweet a while ago and started listing like the most random scouts, people that wouldn't even know was on like hired by the Detroit Lions, that the Detroit Lions pay their bills. And those guys are what are really like what we see on the field is due to their tireless day in and day out scouting. So it's just amazing. And I want to shout all of them out. Julius, anything else to add? Number 1 seed, not even just add, but just talk about how you're feeling. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just really happy that the team gets a week off. They deserve it. They need it. I think getting the number 1 seed was the true X factor in a run to the Super Bowl. If we would have lost to Minnesota in some kind of dumb way, you know, we would have made Sam Darnold look like Joe Montana or whatnot, then we could have easily lost on the road in a wild card this weekend, man. And I'm just happy. I know we're 8 on the road. I'm very confident, road warrior and all that. But this week of rest and admiration, this is a time for our team to get recognition for everything they've done. You see them at the Pistons games. You see all the reports, all the all-pro nods, all the reports of the interviews with our assistants. I mean, this is a time of admiration for the number 1 seed, for being the first time in franchise history. And it's a time for us fans, I think, too, to enjoy it. It's like a vacation for a week before we go to war. And so enjoy it. It's just a good, happy time right now. And it's just great to live in this moment before we go on that run that we all know that's coming.
We do. And there's a few things also about getting the number 1 seed. One, sure, everyone, like the home field advantage is huge. I think it's obviously very big, especially in playoffs, especially with Detroit and how ruckus and wild we get. Don't let any opposing fans into the stadium because they're going to get heckled. They're going to get booed. It's not a safe environment. I truly don't. I think we're starting to teeter on the line of Philadelphia, which is great. That's exactly what I want to see. Once I start hearing about batteries being thrown at opposing fans, then I'm a happy dude because like, there you go. We've eclipsed it. You know what I mean? I want to boo Santa and I want to throw batteries and I just want to be the biggest, baddest fan base there is. And I want people to laugh and be like, fuck no, I'm not going. Like right now, if there's 2 stadiums that I would be kind of nervous to go to, and it would be Baltimore and Philadelphia. Every other away stadium, I would go in talking mad shit. But going into Baltimore, Philadelphia, I'd be a little nervous. And I want other fans to think that when they come to Ford Field. I don't want us to be this fun experience at all. I want them to go home like pissed off at Lions fans, hating Detroit, never jumping on the bandwagon, and never wanting to come to another game. That's how I want it. But none of that matters because I think getting number 1 seed is more important. Because what Dan Campbell said, it's one less game. It's just one less game. And every game in football is, you never know. It can be the Bears versus the Lions. It can be the Lions versus, it doesn't matter. You never know what's going to happen. So I think that's huge, just 86ing one of those games that we have to play. And then 2, I was pissed off last year when the refs fucked up the Cowboys game and kind of stole the number 1 seed from us. With that win, we could have had that. And what that does is that takes money away from servers, right? So my mother-in-law is a server bartender downtown Greektown, Detroit. They have 2 extra weeks with a mass amount of people coming in. That just feeds money into the Detroit economy. And I think that's thing people won't ever talk about or won't ever even think about. But having those 2 extra weeks where we get people coming in for the, assuming we win next week, and then the championship game, that's so much money into the city of Detroit from people that wouldn't be down in the city. So I just love that as well. It's big for the city. It's big for the team. It's big for the fans. Let's keep it moving, though. The Lions did beat up on the Vikings last week. It was awesome. Jahmyr Gibbs had 4 touchdowns. The defense played a huge game. Alex Anzalone came back with his bionic arm, and it's a game ball, played amazing. Amik Robertson, shut up, Jettas, dude. And it was amazing. The dude played him in high school. The dude played him in college. He knew how to play him. That's probably why Amik was so good, is because he lined up against Jettas a ton in high school and in college. So just amazing to see the performance of Amik, Anzalone, Jahmyr Gibbs, the whole defense, the whole offense, the coaching staff. It was amazing. I'm not going to break this down into segments of this game, so I'm just going to let us ramble on for 3-5 minutes, however much you want to talk about this game, what it was like, how you felt going in, how you felt at halftime, how you felt going into – that's an amazing quote. That's how you felt going into the fourth quarter. Julius, we are going to start with you. Talk to me about that Vikings game.
So Vikings fans and the Vikings Twitter was going ham before this game. They were going ham. I mean, we all saw the locker room celebration they had again over the Packers. Yeah, we beat the Packers. Yeah. Let's march to the Super Bowl through Detroit. Yeah. No, sir. That's not how it went down. That's not how it went down at all. And before this game, honestly, I'm not going to lie, I was feeling confident.
Good.
I felt like the Vikings the last several years. The last several years, in my eyes, the Vikings have been frauds. Even when they had Kirk Cousins, they were frauds. They had the number 1 seed, I think, 1 year with them. They were frauds. They lost in the divisional round. They are frauds. I felt like Sam Darnold was a fraud. Everybody talking about our defense, our injuries, blah, blah, blah. They don't realize it don't matter who's on the field. We're a Dan Campbell culture team. Every next man up that's natural. It's a natural way of life in Detroit. So nobody expected Amik Robertson to come up from the dirt and throw that shit in Justin Jefferson's eyes, just like he did back in his high school days in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Nobody expected that. But now they do. Let the Vikings wind up back at Ford Field in the divisional round. Same shit gonna happen again. I'm confident. I'm predicting a blowout. Same shit gonna happen again. Honestly, leaving the game, I felt just as confident. Like I said, nothing really changed. The Vikings were loud. I felt like Lions fans were not as loud as Vikings fans. We had a quiet confidence. We really did. Shout out Lions fans on that. But the Vikings are a tier below the Lions. And that's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Things will never ever be the same. Adam, go ahead.
The Vikings, they were talking a lot of crap, and it was nice to put them in their place.
Talk to me.
At the end of the day, like, this was a team with 6.5 win projection from Vegas, the best sports predictors in all the world, the experts. And yes, they played a lot better. 14 wins, amazing season. I honestly tip my cap to the Vikings because that wins the North probably 9 out of 10 times. But the one time it doesn't is when the Lions go 15-2 and beat you twice. So it was so awesome to see that game, to see Gibbs have those 4 touchdowns, to truly see the emergence of the best running back in the NFL, Nick. It seems like each week of Gibbs having that solo role has gotten better. And then to end it on a 4-touchdown Lions history mark, became the NFL leader in touchdowns, tied Barry Sanders for only Lions player to have 4 touchdowns in a game. It was truly happy. It was a good feeling to know that Brad Holmes, you nailed it. You risked a pick on a running back, but when these running backs hit, it can actually make a difference. Like, you can't tell me teams weren't, say, oh my God, Barry Sanders, why'd the Lions draft Barry Sanders so early? Oh, well, now you know. And granted, Gibbs wasn't as good as Barry was in college, but now you know. That's why we drafted so high. And it was truly a perfect game, from Darnold overthrowing every play to Aaron Glenn chilling on the bench in the fourth quarter, knowing that this game's over. We got this wrapped up. From even, Jared Goff making a couple mistakes, had 2 interceptions. One was, well, I guess even that tipped pass was partially his fault because, sometimes you got to realize the end's coming around. Either, get it way over his hands or just spike it in the dirt. And then that weird deep one that was almost like a punt right we had on the 2-yard line. And then even that, I guess it was a good play, but that almost sack in the end zone, that could have been disastrous too. But even if we want to give them a safety and a touchdown, we still blow them out. So the Lions, oh man, this was a final, just testament of how good this team is. This isn't no fluke shit. This isn't no, we're winning games off of, lucky plays and getting, the benefit of the refs. And honestly, in this game, the refs kind of screwed us. There were at least 3, probably closer to 5 plays where the Vikings hiked the ball with 0 seconds left on the play clock and ended up with big plays. There was one that was a Cam Akers, 30-yard run down to the goal line, a Jalen Naylor, I think 3rd down, 3rd and 6 conversion. And it was brutal. But knowing that the Lions can beat any NFL team and the refs, it's just such a good feeling because now we know, the refs aren't going to beat us. If we lose, it's going to be some type of, honestly, I'll say it, some sort of fluke, because if the Lions just play average ball, I think we should be able to beat any NFC team. AFC, a little different story with the Bills, Ravens, and even Chiefs. We'll have to play, premier ball. But ultimately, it was such an awesome game to watch. My brother, who not the biggest football fan in the world, I'm pretty sure he's only watched the Thanksgiving Day game. He came down, watched it with me and my dad, was cheering on the boys. So that just goes to show how big the Lions have gotten. For you get not just your casual fans, you get your fans that, don't even watch the Lions, maybe catch 1 to 2 games every couple of years, coming down and watching it because it's a big game, a big moment. And our boys put on a show, and I couldn't be more proud.
It was amazing to watch, just to see Jahmyr Gibbs really go off like that. It was just I've been saying it, you know what I mean? I'm like, that dude is the best running back. He's the best running back in the NFL, and I don't care who hates me. And it really did solidify it. But it was this right here. I'm going to try to get this to show. This is when I knew the Lions were going to just whoop ass. Let's see if I get it. We see that?
Oh.
Woo! Right. Woo! Right there. One more time. Woo! Oh, my God, dude. It was amazing. I knew it right when Goff flicked that thing, damn near hit the freaking thing, or hit the camera. I was like, my man's is feeling it, dude. My man, he didn't even really need to because Gibbs took over, but honestly, it was amazing. It was so fun to watch. But we'll keep it moving. The Lions had a nice beat on the Vikings. We all expected it. Actually, none of us predicted that score, but we'll get to that next show. Make sure you come in later on this week. We will have our show for the look ahead game, and we'll do our predictions show at that point. Lions got 4 first-team All-Pro players: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Kirby Joseph, Jack Fox. Got 2 second-team All-Pros: Frank Ragnow, Khalif Raymond. Boys, let's talk about these 6 players: 4 first-team, 2 second-team. Kirby doesn't get a Pro Bowl, but he gets an All-Pro. Adam, I'm going to let you start out with this one. Just talked about it, man.
I guess Pro Bowl voters really put high stakes into draft picks. So if you're drafted in the first 2 rounds, that bumps you up. And if you're drafted in the 3rd, 4th round past that, it's good luck making the Pro Bowl, buddy, because we saw this last year. Amon-Ra, 4th round guy, first team All-Pro, doesn't make the Pro Bowl, which is just so shocking. And then on top of all that, you get people say, oh, maybe the fans need to vote. No. Kirby Joseph was the number 1 fan vote. So I don't know who wasn't voting for this guy, but ultimately he got the one award that matters the most, pretty much the only award that truly matters, because I don't think any Lions will be playing in the Pro Bowl. And to get that first team All-Pro, that's just so awesome. Kirby Joseph gets the last laugh. You can call him dirty. You can call him whatever you want, but you have to call him a first team All-Pro.
Hey, I love that. Julius, anything to add on about any of these guys? St. Brown, Sewell, Kirby?
I mean, as far as Kirby Joseph, we talked about it last week. The Pro Bowl, he just had that dirty label thanks to Matthew Stafford, and all these locker room, teenage girl locker room drama, gossip that goes around the league, calling him a dirty player. But in all honesty, he was the best safety in the National Football League, underrated run defender, supreme ball hawk, and he is well deserving of first team All Pro honors. Brian Branch was snubbed because we got the best safety duo in the league, and he at times was even a better safety than Kirby. So shout out to Brian Branch. I know, did Brian Branch made the Pro Bowl and not the All Pro? Is that right?
Correct.
Right. So he was more popular with the peers of the NFL, but in all honesty, he also deserved the All Pro nod. Sewell deserving. Jack Fox, I love it. I'm so happy Jack Fox is finally getting recognition. He's been the best punter in the league for like 5 years now, and he's finally being known. I think a lot of this is name recognition too. People just starting to realize who guys are. I also think Gibbs probably got snubbed as well. I think he was the best offensive weapon in the league.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna give Alvin Kamara two All Pro nods for the seasons he had in the past, you got to give Jahmyr Gibbs one for this season he had. He had the best. He led the league in total touchdowns. He was he's the best all-around weapon in the league. I agree with you, Nick. He's the new Christian McCaffrey. He's the new Alvin Kamara in his prime. He is the premier ball in his hands. He will take you to the house. So shout out Gibbs, shout out Branch, the guys who didn't make it. But other than that, the accolades, congratulations.
Amen. I love that this is St. Brown's second straight year in All-Pro. Penei Sewell's second straight year in All-Pro. Jack Fox's second year as an All-Pro, first time as a first All-Pro. And then Kirby's first year. Like, we have repeating guys, which is just something you would never see in Detroit. All-Pro was nothing you ever really looked at unless maybe you were looking to see if Calvin made it, because that's the only chance you had. Gibbs not getting it makes sense, even though I think he's the best running back statistically. It's tough not to put Saquon and Derrick Henry above them. But I also just want to shout out Raymond. Khalif Raymond getting second-team All-Pro returner is just amazing, dude. And I think we noticed that when Tom Kennedy was back there returning kicks and Craig Reynolds. Like, yes. It's just not the same as Raymond. He's it, dude. And I love him. I love his personality off the field. When you get to see him on like the St. Brown podcast stuff, he's so interesting. I love him. I love the dynamic between him and St. Brown and JMO. So shout out them for sure. Jack Fox is amazing. Just a great team. Ragnow, second team All Pro. Like, I would argue that Hutchinson should have been on there. Like, the dude led.
Hutchinson would have been first team if he played.
Even with just the games that he played, he still should be on there.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, he did. I believe someone did give him a All-Pro vote too, which is
good,
just impressive.
Anzalone could have been on there.
Absolutely, he could have. Jack Campbell could have been an argument for a second-team All-Pro, in my opinion. Brian Branch, obviously, I think pretty much the only one I wouldn't argue is like Terrion Arnold, who came up huge against Minnesota. Like, and the dude played great as a cornerback one. He's gonna have to play great against guys like AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp. You know what I mean? Maybe Amik goes on Jettas again if we play him, but it's just like that's tough. That's tough for a rookie cornerback. But we're gonna keep moving on. I am curious what you guys think about this next question. Should the NFL change the playoff seeding to have it just be your top four, your four division winners make the playoffs, but the actual seeding is just based on overall record? It doesn't matter. I think we talked about it before, but I just want to bring it up again. I'm gonna go back to you, Julius. Do you think we need to like re-switch, or do you like, if you win your division, you get home field? It's kind of fun when a 7-9 team makes it. Where are you at?
I do kind of like it that if you win your division, you get home field, because you don't always win the easy division. Just like the Lions this year, came down to the last game. We had to win 15 games to win our division. You best believe we get home field. But at the same time, if it would have came down to the last game and we only was going for our 9th win, you best believe we deserve home field advantage. So as tempting as it is, it's so fair, it's not fair. As tempting as it is to go in that route in your head, by record, it just makes sense. No, I like division crown. Your reward is you stay home. Your first game.
I love that. Adam, do you agree or do you disagree?
I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not opposed to either side. I know Nick, my famous.
Get out of here! I hate when people answer like that.
But if they did change it, I would be cool with it. But you make a good point, Julius, where if you win your division, you should get that home field advantage, because the division's what you play through. It's 6-year games. And I know it doesn't really sound a lot, but it's more than a third of your season. So if you can dominate a third of your season against teams you've played twice a year, every year, I think that should show a little something. But also at the same time, it would suck to have like a 13, 14 win team have to go on the road like the Vikings do. Now, I don't think the Lions are in any type of position anytime soon to do that unless we get plagued with injury again, where, we'll be a 13, 14 win team going on the road. And also on top of all that, I think this year was, just one of those anomaly years where this isn't going to happen every single season. You're not going to see a team that has a 6.5 projected win total race out to 14 wins where, it comes down to the last game of the season. I think it will happen again if they don't make any changes, but I do kind of believe they should just keep it how it is and not try to, panic and be like, oh no, this happened one time, we have to change it. Because if they change it and then it doesn't happen again for the next 10, 15 years, then, it's kind of like a pointless major NFL standings change, I guess. So for me, I probably at the end of the day would stick with the format we got now. And, just Lions run the North, and I think they're going to continue to run it. So that also is part of the reason why I do think that home field advantage should always be division winners.
Leave me on an island. I don't like it. I'm all right with the full-on go NBA standings wise, playoff wise. I like the idea. So I liked the idea, and then college football kind of ruined for me, honestly, this year. You got to just give the best 4 teams your buys or your home playoff games. I don't care what you do. I also think that's going to make the regular season a little bit more interesting, because now, like, the pack, or like, I don't know, certain teams were just playing for the 3 or 4 seed, like, seeding. You could be playing for, like, not just to win your division, but playing to go from the 5 seed to the 4 seed, whether you're playing in a division where the division winners already got the number 1 seed locked up. You still have a chance for home field advantage. It would be interesting to see like 3 NFC North teams this year with home field advantages. Now, obviously Green Bay wouldn't, but it would have just been like cool to see something of that nature. So I'm on board for changing it. Give the bye to the first team still, and then give the next 3 best teams home field advantage. Just make sure every division winner gets in the playoffs. Because college football, I think playoffs would have been a lot better this year if who was 4 seed? I think Arizona State was like the 4 seed with like Scatterboro or
Arizona
something.
State and Boise both had buys.
That was just ridiculous. Like, that's terrible. I get they won their whatever, but like, stop it. That's terrible. Just get your 4 best teams buys, make the other teams, make the games in the first round closer, more competitive. Give them a good like warm up. Like Ohio State having to go beat, who the fuck did they beat in the first round? Whoever they beat in the first round was a blowout, and there was a great warm-up game to go in.
Oregon,
and they roped to Oregon up like 35-0 at one point in that game, because Oregon sat there for an extra week while Ohio State really kind of tuned up. So I don't know, because of college football, I like the idea of just reseeding it. But we're moving on. The show's dragging here. Let's keep it going. Not dragging, but it's running. Do you want an 18-game season with 2 bye weeks? Yes or no, Adam?
Yes, I think it would be good. My main reason, honestly, is like, no, half and half. Half because 2 bye weeks would be nice, just because the Lions, it seems like every year we get a week 5 bye that helps out like 2 players. And if we had a, week 12, 13 bye, I really think that would have helped out a lot. I don't know what it would have done looking back, but ultimately having 2 breaks during the season would be nice. And then on top of all that, you get an extra football game, man. Who doesn't love more football? But I think if we go to 18, that's it. I don't want to get to 20. I don't want to get to 19.
We're about to be playing all year.
Yeah, I know. And I know the NFL is starting to, drool over how much money they could make, the more games they could put in. And
well, they did, 18 games and 2 bye weeks. That's a 20-week season as opposed to an 18-week season. Yeah. That's 2 more weeks of football for the NFL to make money, which, I mean, I'm not mad about. I like football.
It would like push the Super Bowl into like late February even, which would be kind of crazy, but interesting. If they do make that change, they should I don't know what's going with that. But I think they should. 18 games, cap it at that. 2 bye weeks. That's good enough. And then just space the bye weeks out. Make sure a team doesn't get like a week 5 and then like a week 9. It has to
it's got to be like a 7-week,
yes,
8-week like grace period between bye weeks. I like that. Julius, do you agree or do you disagree? Do you like where we're at?
I like the 18 games, 2 bye weeks. I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect for players. I think it's perfect for the league to make more money. They needed. The Lions honestly needed a second bye week. They really did, even in a 17-game season. But you can't help. Every team has injuries. That's like the name of the game. We've been living with that as long as we've known football. It's part of the game, so you can't really deny it. You could kind of see where too many games is just not good overall. I kind of like the 16-game season. I like the 16
Julius going back.
Right. Like, I thought that was perfect with 1 bye week, the 16-game, but don't ask me.
14 weeks, no bye week, right? You know what I mean?
I just don't like the 17, just 18 or 16. All right.
Gotcha. You got to be an even number. His OCD is kicking in. All right. I also agree. I like the 18 and 20-week season, 2 bye weeks. I really like that. I mean, basically, as a Detroit fan, it's death, taxes, Detroit Pistons getting the 5 pick, and the Lions getting a bye week on week 5. Like, that's just life right there. We expect it every year. So let's try to change something up. Mike Vrabel was just hired by the New England Patriots to be the new head coach for them, which is just one less spot for Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Aaron Glenn already turned down the interview with the Patriots because I knew they were just trying to get him in there for that fucking Rooney rule. It's like my biggest pet peeve in the world. I hate that rule, but I knew, and I'm glad AG just was like, dude, no, I know you're getting Vrabel. You can go suck a dick and go find another black person to interview. And I'm glad he did that because he did not want that job. He shouldn't want that job. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because that's one less spot for AG and BJ to go. What percentage do you put on both of these guys being a head coach next year? We've been doing this every week, and I want to see where our percentages lie. I will start. I think Ben Johnson is at a 90%. I don't think he comes back next year. I think the only 10%, the only way he comes back is if we do not win the Super Bowl. I think he may be back for another revenge year. Aaron Glenn, I'm putting at like 75-80%. And it was probably 50-60 before that Minnesota game. And he came out and he showed that he, with good players, i.e. just adding Alex Anzalone back, we can have an amazing defense. A lot of that is because of Aaron Glenn's coaching. So I'm giving him 80% and Ben Johnson 90%. I think we're starting to get to the point where we're about to be out of both of our coordinators, probably a GM or probably a front office person become a GM. And I've said it a couple times. I still think Dave Phipp is a damn close head coaching probability right now. A very dark underhorse. A team, the Bears might get someone like Dave Phipp. They would do something really weird and get a special teams coordinator. So those are just a couple of. But what do you say? We'll go to Adam. What's your percentage on AG and BJ leaving?
So let's start with Ben Johnson. The teams that need head coaches right now are the Jets, the Saints, the Bears, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. Of those teams, the Raiders also need a new GM. And I believe that Jaguars are kind of in an interesting situation where the owner literally said, yeah, we'll fire the GM if the head coach, doesn't like him or something, which part of that might be like a Ben Johnson sway point because Ben Johnson's come out and said, I want to be on a same timeline as my GM. I want to kind of, help build this foundation as the head coach. So I don't think he will go. I don't think he's going to go to the Bears. I don't think he's going to go to the Jets. I thought the Patriots had a legit shot if they didn't get Vrabel at getting Ben Johnson. And now it's down to the Saints, the Raiders, or the Jaguars. Jaguars, interesting one. They got, I think, like a top 3 pick. Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., Trayvon Walker's actually had back-to-back 10-sack seasons, so solid couple defensive pieces. And the Raiders are also, you're in Vegas, big money market, big name market, a team that's kind of been in, poverty the last 10 or so years. have went through multiple new head coaches, but now, they bring in Tom Brady. He might be a little factor into that too. And they're looking for a new GM. So if Ben Johnson, they say, hey, we want you to help us find the GM, I think that could be a major turning point. But oh goodness, don't even say that. Oh.
Ben Johnson, Chris Spielman, he brings Mark Brunell with him to be the offensive coordinator.
That actually might happen. So I'm glad you said that, Nick, so we can clip this and tweet it out. But another thing that I wish I would have clipped is, boys, do you remember when I said at the beginning of the year, when the Lions were getting aggressive, we trade the 3rd round pick for Carlton, we trade a 3rd round pick for Terrion. And my initial reaction was, is Brad Holmes doing this to beef up the defense so much because he pretty much already assumed Aaron Glenn was going to be leaving, so might as well go out on one big hurrah. And the point of Aaron Glenn leaving is if he gets a head coaching job, we get some compensatory picks, like a couple 3rds, I think a 4th. It's a few nice picks. So I think that plays a role too. I'm probably at like a 90% that Aaron Glenn ends up with the Jets or Saints just because of the ties he has to the teams. Ben Johnson, on the other hand, Nick, I'm a little bit more optimistic that he comes back to Detroit. Whether or not we win the Super Bowl, I think if we win the Super Bowl, he might have that, let's run it back. I can't leave these guys. And if we don't win the Super Bowl, it might be the, job's not finished. I have to get this done. But I would say I'm at like a 60-40 Ben Johnson leaving. I think there's a decent chance he does stay. Just based off of some of these other teams, I really think the only truly appeasing ones are the Jaguars and maybe the Raiders, but the Raiders seem like they might be going after Dion and might get a Dion Shador tag team, which would be nice. So hopefully these teams don't want to wait until the Super Bowl to hire their head coach and want to get someone in now, kind of like the Patriots just did. So if that happens, if we start to see, one more domino fall, that will help me out a little bit. But on the other hand, I don't think there's an elite head coaching class out there. I think Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are kind of like at the top. I mean, Vrabel, of course, was up there too, but he was kind of set in stone to Patriot. So Ben Johnson, 60-40 leaving. Aaron Glenn, I'm kind of at probably like a 90-10.
Got you. Julius, same question.
I mean, with Ben Johnson, it's simply this. It depends if we win the Super Bowl. If we win the Super Bowl, Ben Johnson is 100% gone. He is 100% gone. Matter of fact, if we go to the Super Bowl, Ben Johnson is 100% gone. If we go to it. If we lose the NFC Championship again or don't make it, there's 50-50 chance he comes back. Probably more than 50-50. I get it probably like 70-30. So those are the two scenarios. Same thing with not the same thing with Aaron Glenn, in my opinion. Aaron Glenn, his stock has never been higher. Never. There were big question marks about Aaron Glenn the last 2 coaching cycles when he had interviews. And he got a lot of Rooney Rule interview, just like you said, Nick. I'm glad he didn't take that Patriots interview. But right now, the Saints and the Jets could really, really, really go after Aaron Glenn, especially if it don't even matter. If we lose, even if we lost the first game of the playoffs, I think Aaron Glenn is gone. I'm giving it 100% that Aaron Glenn is gone, 100%. With Ben Johnson, it's scenario-based. 70-30, he comes back if we don't go to Super Bowl. If we do go to Super Bowl, 100% Ben Johnson is also gone.
Which at that point, we need to run an ancestry report on him. We need to find some kind of minority somewhere down that line, dude. He's got some Mexican genes, some African genes. We got to get something, get 3 picks for him, or get 2 picks for him. Let's keep moving. The show is going long. We were going to do a fun over-under. I don't even know if we're going to get to it because we have a couple things. But let's just kind of break everything down. We'll talk about everything else in the next show. Of all the NFC teams that we could play next week, whether it's the Packers, the Commanders, the Vikings, or the Rams, I've 2 questions for you. We'll start with Julius. Who do you want to play the most? Who do you think we play?
Who do I want to play the most? I would probably say the Vikings.
Okay.
Just because I think very lowly of them currently. I think we own them, and I think they're scared of us. and I would love to welcome them back into Ford Field over the Rams, the Bucks, or what's the other team?
Packers, Commanders.
Commanders, Packers. I feel similarly about the Packers. They're probably like right below the Vikings. And then I would probably say the Rams, then the Commanders, then the Buccaneers last. Even though I don't care who
wouldn't play the Buccaneers, it would be the Packers.
I don't care who we play, to be honest. What was the second question, by the way?
Who do you think we play?
I think we play the Commanders. I think my bracket, I don't have it right in front of me, but I just had it going out to where we play the Commanders. I could also see it being the Rams because the Vikings are frauds and Stafford just diced them up down in LA. But
in Arizona.
In Arizona, right? If you did get relocated to Arizona. Also, our thoughts and prayers for everybody in California. That was absolutely horrific. Mother Nature is nothing to F with.
No.
And that storm is just going to change the fabric of Southern California forever.
Yep. And
it sucks to see that.
Yeah, I have family out in LA, and exactly.
Yep, same.
The Chargers did not show up, for their fans, but the Rams very well could be. But so I think we end up playing the Commanders, just how my bracket came out. But I just want to say I don't care who we play. I think the Lions can beat all of them. And everybody's saying they're scared to play the Buccaneers because they beat us already. I think that the revenge factor gives us an upper hand over the Buccaneers as well. And so I don't care who we play.
I love it. Adam, same question. Who do you want? Who do you think?
So who I want, I'm with Julius. Wait. Kind of.
I said the Vikings.
Yeah, I had flip-flopped. I thought you said the Commanders. So I want the Commanders. I would like to play rookie quarterback. It's pretty much Terry McLaurin will be on Terrion, little T versus T matchup, or maybe Meeks. But regardless, I would like to play the Commanders. Dan Quinn, if the Lions get down 28-3, I will just feel better about myself, which won't happen at all. But regardless, Commanders like to play them rookie quarterback. Don't think their defense is too good. The Vikings, they are the team that I think we will play. I think the Bucs are going to beat the Commanders. Eagles are going to stomp the Packers. And I got a weird feeling that this Vikings team is just going to get it done over the Rams. The fact that they lost to the Rams, ironically, they lost the Lions and lost the Rams in the regular season, and now they're in this exact same situation. So I do think the Vikings will come a little more prepared, but Kevin O'Connell isn't the best in playoffs. He's the only head coach right now without a playoff win in the playoffs. So it wouldn't shock me to see Daddy McVay outcoach him on a Matt Stafford masterclass. Puka goes crazy, and that's it. But I do think this Vikings team has a bit of fight. I think the relocation, I really don't know how that's going to play a role into it. I don't know if Vikings fans had already been committed to LA, bought flights and stuff, and now you have to relocate to Arizona, buy flights, hotels, all different that. Or if the Rams fans just, the few that they have just are, forget about it. We got our family story about right now. So that will be interesting. But yeah, I would like to play the Commanders. I think we are going to play the Vikings. And if we can play the Vikings, get that 3-victory sweep on them. We were talking about this last show, Nick. You said, I think the Panthers were the last team to do it in 2015, to beat one team 3 times in the same season. It would be awesome. So it would just be another little achievement, I guess, for this Lions Super Bowl run that we're getting ready to make.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to play the Commanders. I think their defense is the easiest defense in the NFC right now. Yes, Jaden can run, and yes, that's our bugaboo, and he would run on us. But ultimately, I think we'd have more firepower and just be able to outduel them. I think it's either we're gonna play the Packers because they'll beat the Eagles, and then it's gonna be Green Bay and Detroit, and it's gonna be a fucking battle. It's gonna be a bloodbath. We'll need to get our season ticket guy back in there holding the flag so we can get into Matt LaFleur's head again. Or I think you guys are both wrong. I think that Vikings suck and they lose to the Rams, and the Rams play Detroit in Ford Field for the 3rd time in a 19-game span, and that is very scary. I am nervous about playing the Rams. I fear playing the Rams more than I fear playing any. Please bring the Vikings in. Please bring the Commanders in. Then I would say the Packers. Then I would say the Rams. Those are the two teams I really don't want to see, but I think that we'll be seeing one of those two teams. So we'll see what happens. Do we have 10 minutes to show? Do you want to just race through this over under, guys? See who wins?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay,
Sure.
stats pulled up.
Yes, I will.
First one, we don't need the stats. First one was, where'd Julius go? Julius is gone. He left us. Oh, he's here. First one was I set all of these before the season. Some might seem low, some might seem high. I don't know. I just drank a beer and put all these numbers down, and we decided to go over under. First one was wins at 13.5. Nick said over. Julius said over. Adam said under. So 1-0 for me, Julius, and Adam goes to 0-1. Goff, I said at 4,549.5 yards. So did he get 45, 50 or more?
Yes, he did. 46-29.
Nick said under. He loses. Julius says over. Adam says over. Julius leads 2-0. Then we set Goff at 29.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. Did he get 30 or more?
37, baby.
He definitely got over. Adam was the only one to say under on that one. Julius 3-0. I'm 2-1. Adam's 1-2. Montgomery, 1,000 rushing yards. Did he eclipse it?
So Monty finished the season with 775 rushing yards.
Okay.
His prop total was 775.5. That's where I got that blip in my head. But he was close. He would have done it, but shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Me and Julius both said he'd go over 1,000. Adam said under. 2-2 for me, 2-2 for Adam, 3-1 for Julius. We're just going to keep flying. Montgomery, 9.5 rushing touchdowns. Did he eclipse it?
Monty did eclipse it, 12 touchdowns.
Everyone said over. Everyone gets a win. Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,199.5 rushing yards. Did he get to 1,200?
Yes.
Yes, he did. 1,400.
The only person to say under was Julius. 4-2 for everyone.
Ooh.
Gibbs, 9.5 rushing touchdowns.
We already know that one.
We already hit over. The
16.
only one to say under was Julius. He drops to 4-3 as Adam and I go up to 5-2. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,500 receiving yards.
Amon-Ra had 1,263.
The only person to say under was Julius. He's the only one to get it right. Everyone's back at 5-3. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 10 touchdowns. Did he eclipse it?
Yes, he did. 12.
12. Everyone said over, but Adam. Adam said under. He drops to 5-4. Me and Julius go to 6-3. Jamo, 1,000 receiving yards.
Over.
Woo!
So, actually doesn't really matter, but Jamo got 1,001.
Yes, he did. He surely did. That's 1,000. The only one who said he wouldn't get 1,000 yards was Adam. Adam drops to 5-5. Me and Julius go to 7-3.
Oh, I'm sick.
Jamo's 6.5 total touchdowns. Did he eclipse it? 7 or more?
Yes, 7
Total.
touchdowns exactly.
Woo! Damn, I was the only one to say under. I go to 7-4. Julius at 8-3. Adam at 6-5. Laporta, 899.5 receiving yards. Did he eclipse 900?
He did not. 726.
Everyone said under. Oh no, Adam said over. He drops to 6-6. Julius at 9-3. I'm at 8-4. Laporta, 9.5 receiving touchdowns. Over or under?
Under 7 touchdowns.
I was the only one to say under. I go up to 9-4. Julius goes down to 9-4. Adam drops to 6-7. We are in defense. These ones are sad. Hutchinson, 13.5 sacks. Under, would have killed. We all said over. We all
good. I'm glad no one got that cheap freebie.
Yeah, that would have been a sick one. 9-5, 9-5, 6-8 for Adam. Hutchinson, 1.5 interceptions. He did not eclipse that, correct?
Nope.
We all said under on that. I set that one pretty high, regardless if he would have played all year or not. That goes 10 and 5, 10 and 5, 7 and 8. We are halfway through. Aleem McNeil, 4.5 sacks.
He
Ooh,
3.5.
Wait, how many?
3.5.
3.5 under. We all said over. We all lose. 10 and 6, 10 and 6, 7 and 9.
Crazy too is a lot of these would have hit if they just didn't get injured. Like Hutch, Monty, and Aleem. Those are all great lines, Nick.
I appreciate that. DJ Reader, 4.5 sacks.
Reader, he got close. Reader had. Hold on. Reader. Why can I not find his name? Reader had 3.
Oh. Me and Adam both said under. Julius said over. Julius falls to 10 and 7. Adam is up to 8 and 9. I am up to 11 and 6 and take the lead for now. Marcus Davenport, 6.5 sacks. We all said under. We all get a win. 12 and 6, 11 and 7, 9 and 9. James Houston, 5.5 sacks. Ooh, I was off on a couple of these guys. The only one to say under for that and get the point is Adam, who goes up to 10 and 9. Me and Julius had a lot of hype for our man James Houston. 12 and 7, 11 and 8, 10 and 9. Adam's coming back. Alex Anzalone, 3.5 sacks.
Anzalone. Oh, Anzalone had 1 sack.
Only person to say over 3.5 sacks was Adam. He falls to 10 and 10. Julius up to 12 and 8. I'm up to 13 and 7. Anzalone, 124.5 total tackles. Did he get 125 or more?
No, he did not. That injury killed that one.
Only one to say under for that was Julius. He goes up to 13 and 8. I go down to 13 and 8. Adam falls to 10 and 11. We have 9 or 10 more. Jack Campbell, 109.5 total tackles. Did he get to 110?
Easily. 131.
Love to hear it. Everyone said over, but Adam, he drops to 10 and 12. And me and Julius go up to 14 and 8.
Some fan I am.
This one sucks, but two people are getting a freebie. Derek Barnes, 99.5 tackles, obviously under. Only person to say over was Julius. Obviously, Julius Derek Barnes. I think he predicted 312 tackles. But with that, I go up to 15 and 8. Adam goes up to 11 and 12. Julius drops to 14 and 9. Carlton Davis, 2.5 picks. That's under.
Oh, Davis finished with 2 on the dot.
So it was under. I was the only one to say under. I'll go up to 16 and 8. Adam drops to 11 and 13. Julius drops to 14 and 10.
I know, Justin. I know.
A lot of these are injury.
They sure are. They sure are. I'm not saying anyone would have been right, would have been wrong, or anything of that nature. This is how it all played out. Terrion Arnold, 1.5 interceptions.
Under.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I don't think Terrion got
one yet.
He hasn't got one yet.
Not yet.
We all believe.
Due.
What?
He's due.
He's
Terrion,
due for 2.
10 pass deflections, though. Second on the team.
That's good. That's good. He's great. Honestly, he gets a lot of bad shit, but he's great. He's great. We all said over for Terrion. We all thought 2 or more picks. We were all wrong. Stats are 16 and 9 for me, 14 and 11 for Julius, 11 and 14 for Adam. Enos Rakestra, a half of interception. Just needed one. And he's under for sure.
Yeah, Rake didn't get one.
The only person who did not think Rakestra was going to get a pick this year was Julius. He goes up to 15 and 11. I dropped to 16 and 10. Adam drops to 11 and 15. Brian Branch, 3.5 interceptions.
Over.
Branch had 4.
4 over. The only person who didn't think he could get 4, me. 16 and 11 for me. 16 and 11 for Julius. 12 and 15 for Adam. We are down to our final 4. Kirby Joseph, 95.5 tackles.
We had tackles on here.
We did.
Hold on. Kirby.
Oh, no. We all suck. Hold on.
Kirby had 83.
So he was under. I believed he'd go over. I dropped to 16 and 12. Julius said under. He goes up to 17 and 11. Adam said under. He goes up to 13 and 15. This happens to me every year. I'm always winning until the final four, and then I just blow it, and Julius or Adam wins. 3 more to go. Kirby Joseph, 4.5 interceptions.
Over.
He hit the over.
Double it.
We all said under. The fans said
You're
under.
Horrible fans.
Everyone said under. 16 and 13 for me, 17 and 12 for Julius, 13 and 16 for Adam. 2 to go. So Adam is eliminated. I am down by 1 against Julius. And we have one different thing. So let's see. First off, iffy 2.5 interceptions. That stayed under.
Yep.
We all said under. We all go up a point. 17 and 13 for me, 18 and 12 for Julius, 14 and 15 for Adam. Adam just trying to get to 500 on the day. The last one. Kickers, Detroit Lions kickers, 19.5 field goals made.
Hold on, let me get to kicking stats.
Jake Bates had like 23, right?
Oh, yeah, he cooked that. Jake Bates had 26.
The only person to say under
was
Julius, and we tied. Julius did not believe. 18 and 13, 18 and 13 for me and Julius.
So what's the tiebreaker? Wins?
No.
Because we'd be tied on that too.
Questionnaire that I randomly did, and we all have answers for. Let's just bust this one out. There's like 8 of them, 9, 10 of them. I don't know. Adam, just say we're going to extend the show. I don't care if anyone's watching or not. Let's just do this. So Adam finished 515 and 15. We're going to keep those running for these ones right here. I do not know what these questions are. I haven't looked at these since we did this in May or April. So let's just see if we can even answer something.
Very funny. This could be very funny.
It could be very funny. Some of these might not be answerable, and these are just answers. These aren't like fact or fiction type of thing. First off, we had Game of the Year. So this isn't for anything, but let's just see what we all had. This is a fun thing. Game of the Year, Julius said Green Bay at Detroit. So the Thursday after Thanksgiving, that was a good game. I said Detroit at San Francisco. That was not the game of the year, but it was a crazy game. Adam said Thanksgiving, Detroit versus Chicago. Again, we're not giving points for this one because it's all hearsay. I would say, though, that Julius had the closest for the best game of the year. But I'm not giving away points for that. Will the Lions win an MVP, defensive player, offensive player, rookie of the year, coach of the year? We haven't got there yet, so we don't know.
It's close.
Just so everyone knows, Julius had Hutch for defensive player of the year. We couldn't pick a player if he was already picked. Adam took offensive player of the year, Jahmyr Gibbs. I took MVP, Jared Goff. Those were what we had. How long will the longest field goal made be? I don't know if we can do points for any of these. By the way, I'm reading, but
we're just was 61.
I believe it was a 61-yarder.
While he's looking, Julius said 63, Adam said 62, Nick said 61. So see if I can at least win that.
I think it was 61.
I think so too. While he's looking at this one, we all know what was the longest winning streak this year? 11 games, right?
11.
Adam said 6. Julius said 7. I said 8.
You were the closest, Nick.
Closest. Who will lead the team in interceptions? This one's fun.
Kirby.
Julius said Brian Branch. Adam said Kirby Joseph. Way to go, Adam. I said Enos Rakestra. Wow. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was in a heavy Enos phase at that point in my life. So I was wrong on that. Who's the first player with 3 rushing or receiving touchdowns in a game? Was it Gibbs with 4?
Yeah.
Or did Monty have 3 in this year at all?
Gibbs had 4. I don't think anyone had 3. I think Gibbs just had 3.
A 3-game
I think he did last year. I don't think he did this year. I think Gibbs played too much, like took too many touchdowns away. I could be wrong. Our answers, though, were Jahmyr Gibbs for Julius, St. Brown for Adam, and Laporta for me. So that was fun. How many, Adam, you got to start. You're going to be our fact checker, so I need you quick on the computer. How many 4th downs do we go for it on? How many fourth downs did we go for it on?
Hold on. I'm just.
You got to be quick.
Jake Bates did attempt a 65-yarder in Chicago, but I think he missed it. Oh, he just barely missed it. Oh, man. Damn it. All right.
All right. How many? Let's see here. 2 days ago, Dan Campbell has led the league in going for it on fourth down in 2 of his 4 years. With his 33 attempts during the 2024 season, trailed just 2 teams, the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. So we went for it 33 times. Julius said, "Oh, what?
Sorry, we got it 22 times.
Got it 22.
Yeah.
Julius said we'd go 22 for 30. That's like incredible. Like that's incredible. Adam just said 37 times. He didn't give it how many times we get it. I said 20 completions for 35 attempts. So Julius, well done on that one, bud. Rank the division. Julius went Lions 16-1, Bears 9-8, Packers 9-8, Vikings 3-14. Adam said Lions 14-3, Packers 10-7, Bears 9-8, Vikings 5-12.
The true Vikings.
I said Lions. I didn't give standings for some reason, but I went Lions, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. So we all had Minnesota being worse in the division. Wrong on that. 6 more fun ones. Breakout player of the year. Does anyone have what they would say right now? Anyone?
I think Kirby.
I'll say on defense, I'll say Kirby. On offense, I'll say J-Mo.
I think J-Mo's fair, and I think Kirby or Brian Branch. The answers were breakout player of the year for Julius, Levi Onzawerke. For Adam, Jamison Williams. For Nick, Jack Campbell, who I don't mind the Jack Campbell.
They all 3 could get a vote, honestly, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Levi Onzawerke one in there, but sure, dude, whatever.
I think Levi's come on the last few weeks.
He's come on. I'm not saying he hasn't. Breakout, I don't know if that falls into it.
No, I would say not breakout, no.
Free agent MVP. Do we have an answer for that right now?
I
would say between Carlton and Zeitler, probably.
I would say Zeitler.
Oh, Jake Bates. What'd you say?
Zeitler played the whole season, so I might even give it to him over Carlton Davis. The Carlton Davis injury kind of stunted that, but it would have been Carlton Davis. Jake Bates does have a good nod to that.
The answers are the answers are as followed. Julius says Zeitler. We knew he loved him. He was our main guy to go talk about what it came.
Called that one.
I said Carlton Davis, and then Adam was keen on Tim Patrick. Maybe let's get some Tim Patrick.
He had some sick first downs for us.
I have no problem with him.
Great pickup, Tim Patrick. Great pickup.
This must have been before we signed Jake Bates.
Rookie of the year. We all had to pick a different player, so this kind of got low for me. It sounds like Julius took Terrion Arnold. Adam took Enos Rakestraw. I took Williams. It just says Williams. Who is Williams? Did we draft a rookie named Williams? Oh, it was Isaiah Williams.
That's when you were high on Isaiah Williams.
I was high on a few people back in the day, boys. Back in the day. Just a couple more. Non-quarterback offensive player of the year. Julius said ASB. Adam said Gibbs. Nick said Waymo. I guess probably be Gibbs if I had to give it to anyone. Defensive player of the year. Julius took low-hanging fruit with Hutchinson. Adam took Branch. I took McNeil. No one took Kirby. I would probably say Branch out of those 3. Boldest prediction. Nick said 17-0. I said it a plethora of times. I
got that banner comment. I actually have that.
Do you?
Wasn't too far off.
I mean, it really wasn't. Adam said Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. Now this might even be correct. Oh, see, I said it so much, dude.
I posted that banner on the show when you said it.
I love it, dude. And I'm saying it again next year. Don't worry, guys. Adam, check this. What was Jahmyr Gibbs' total yards, rushing and receiving?
Had 1,921, just short of 2,000, which is what I think I predicted.
You said Jahmyr Gibbs, 2K total yards, and then gave an exact amount, 2,026 total yards. You were very close, dude. Very close. And then, Julius, you have any prediction of what you said?
I don't recall.
Derek Bard, 6 sacks.
I said Hutchinson don't break the sack record.
Breaks the sack record. Yep, exactly.
I was on
next
it too.
Year.
He was on track by far. He was on track.
The last one. This one's pretty fun, especially for Julius, I think. Funny. Super Bowl prediction, score and teams. I'll start with me, who is the only one who has an opportunity left. I said Detroit over Baltimore 31-30. I still believe it. I hang my hat on it. Adam could have had an opportunity. He said Lions 21, Bengals 17.
Oh, man.
He wanted the Bengals in. And my favorite prediction of the year, Lions 24 by Julius. The New York Jets, baby. Jets, Jets for 20 points, losing the Super Bowl. He wanted
Aaron Rodgers' career in the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Exactly. I don't know. We all tied. That was fun. We have the only other thing we did was we predicted scores. Ultimately, Adam went 14-3, or said we'd go 14-3. Julia said we'd go 16-1. I said we'd go 17-0. The Lions did the one thing that none of us said, which was 15-2. A few notes that I have down here from it. No quarterback will throw for 300 passing yards versus the Lions. That was from me. That was wrong. Sam Howell will start for the Seahawks as they're 0-3 coming into Detroit. That was from me. The last one from me, Brad Allen refs the Cowboys-Lions game. So I was wrong on all of them. Julia said Sione Vaki would rush for 150 yards in Week 18 versus Minnesota. Unfortunately, that was incorrect. Nick and Julius both said Hendon Hooker will start Week 17 and 18. That was incorrect. Adam said Hooker will only start Week 18.
We did not foresee these dumb Vikings.
No, we did not. Julius also said Lions won't lose 2 consecutive games. That was correct. Well done, sir. And Adam, I don't have anything written on here for you, but we did have a Thanksgiving MVP back in May for some reason. I don't know why we decided to do that, but we did. And Nick said Montgomery. Julia said Waymo. Adam said Hutchinson. I think Waymo would have ultimately won that. That was all our May predictions, guys. Next year, I'm going to have us write down so many things so we can just go back and look, because that was
sure.
Oh, great episode. Great show, boys. As always, you can check us out at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out individually at Nick Faber NFL, the 5th top for Julius, and Everyday FFB for myself. And then also next around maybe this time, but if the Lions advance into the NFC Championship game, the Honolulu Blues will be doing some sort of, raffle ticket giveaway for some big prizes. So stay tuned on that. But
boys and girls, we'll be in stadium.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
As always.